Azir, I really
ミッドレーンあと何がい
like.
るだろ
Relative, they have the
う。シンド
initial
ラ
engage. These are two ADs without dash. You have that start. You have that follow up there from the Azir, and you
Syndra,
think they can
Kari.
put pressure on them. So as long as they can now draft from blue side a strong 2v2, a support that is going to be really powerful for carry to keep them relevant in the lane, I think they're going to be set up really well.
Relevant?
There's also an opportunity here to
Okay,
go
man.
for a strong
Jungle.
jungle, right? You can take the Wukong
ベト
here,
ナム
but
の
if
石
you find a
お
way
ジャ
to
ングル
Silas, I think you can go for Silas here for Knight as well.
Yeah.
Knight is a phenomenal
7
Silas
勝
player,
1回
and you set up
強
for
す
what
ぎ
could be a case of, hey, we're going to steal away some of these big ultimates, try and use that as the setup, and I think that's where you could try and play through both strengths in mid jungle and bot side.
And I think now JDG have to target the supports. You have to target what you think is going to come out from Keria. They're actually thinking a very aggressive option. I was thinking when the
東チャンピオン
Mirror's Ash
に
came through that it
刺
was
さる
going to be
フック
a
系
range
チャンピオン
support.
バー
I
して
think
き
that
ま
is
すか
going to be coming out. Something like the Renata even.
No
Especially when
chance.
you're playing against Wukong and hard engage, I think Renata can be very, very valuable. It is a great pairing
グマイス
alongside
さんのカリス
what
タ
we've
です
already seen. So I'm expecting Renata to get banned as the last
赤い
ban
バ
from JDG, or I would be kind of shocked.
ノーチラス版ですか
Yeah, and it's interesting that this is the game that JDG are pulling out
Nochiba.
for Wukong for Kanavi, right? Because we did talk about the Vi in the first two games.
I like this
how
way more.
Those were Wukong angles for JDG as well. The three of us were talking behind the scenes. So I also like, and it is
バード
his
バ
signature
確かに
pick,
東
right?
チャ
It's
ンピ
a
オン
pick
に
again.
は
If you've been watching
バードが
LoL
刺さる
domestically, you do
バード
not
の
give
武闘で
Kanavi
簡
this
単にキャッ
Wukong
チ
pick,
でき
so
ま
it's
す
nice
か
to
ら
see him back on that. And then Bard banned out for Keria. Another thing
It's
that
got to
they
be
don't
Renata
want to
then,
play
though,
against.
no? Like, because
Yeah.
if you're showing Wukong, the one thing you are showing is hard engage, right? So you have to have some sort of a dive buddy alongside it. Wukong doesn't really work as solo dive. So I just feel like it's such a strong Renata angle for T1, and I'm a little bit worried that JDG maybe overlooked that.
加算って
Yeah,
消
the
し
Bard
ま
is
した
strong because it's low mobility ADs,
確か
but
に
it's a weaker
嫌で
laner
す
than
ね
the
取ら
Renata,
れ
and
た
I think Renata is going
す
to
ごい
set
嫌
up
です
Gumayushi for success in the 5v5s.
Especially when, as we were talking about, they've already banned the Akali. I think they're probably looking at a Silas, and if you then go even more heavy into that time, that could be the angle. So maybe this is the pivot going, hey, look, we're going to take the
あ
three.
カリエがいたらそういえば勝率すごい低かったと思う
And
け
then
ど
it makes it a little bit easier for us to not
カ
fully
リアミ
have
ッ
to
ド
go in towards this.
あまり使えるプレイヤーはいません
It's
けれ
so
ども
interesting because the other
出し
side
て
of
き
the
ますか
angle is maybe the JDG think, okay, even if
6
we're not
勝
as good in
14 敗
5v5, we can pound it in lane,
大
so they
敗
can't
北して
go
ま
it,
す
right? And so
カ
now
リア
that's the evaluation that T1 has to make,
そ
and
して
they're going to
8
buy
と
themselves a
6
little bit more time to actually choose. It could also just be rel support, and we could be kind of getting baited. But we're going to have to find out what that final pick is, and does T1 think that something like Renata can survive the lane and punish it?
レナータ強いですねこれ
This,
強いですね
this feels so obvious because it's such a strong pairing with the Kalista. Again, I think you
11
need a
勝
dive
3
buddy
敗
with the
大
Wukong.
きい
So I think JDG have kind of telegraphed what they're doing in the draft a little bit too hard. And I almost don't care what JDG pick on 5. I favor T1.
Yeah, I mean, I
エイトロック
also
スに
think
対して
another
何出すん
thing
だろ
that
う
we haven't mentioned yet, but obviously this
Renekton.
is Zeus's massive like blind pick, right? He's like Aatrox. That's fine.
Renekton,
マルさん久しぶりに見ました
The red side advantage, oh no!
I saw Dagda win as soon as the Renekton hover
It's not what you
came
want
in.
from your inside draft.
I mean, this is exactly like 369 has played this matchup
かけ
already.
開
Lost
始
hard to
よいしょ
to Keen. It just he couldn't get control over the matchup,
開始
and
です
they end up falling
フー
super
イル
far
ウィン
behind. And then as well, Renekton falls off so much harder than Aatrox does. If you can't make this pick work, it just
ワニさん
falls
カ
off
ー
the
リ
cliff
ー
after like 15 minutes.
弱そう
And to me, red side, the whole advantage is counter pick.
Yeah.
If you told someone that it was Renekton versus Aatrox top, you wouldn't know which one picked blind.
True.
カリアも
Okay,
カ
so
ー
we
リ
have
弱そう
Azel who's heavily favoring T1. He doesn't even care.
なんか
about
勝率
the
が
top
低いチャンピオン
player.
いいイメージがないですね
I like a lot of the answers that T1 have. I'm also really curious to see what they'll do.
ワニ
level
カ
one.
リアこの2体かなり
I
勝
think a
率
huge
低
portion of this
い
game
このワール
depends
ズ
on Knight. If you can try and separate out these team fights, that could be an angle for them to actually try and attack. Otherwise, yeah, I think T1 are in a really good
All
spot.
right, let's see if blue side continues to reign supreme or if JDG break that trend. Back to the casters.
Thank you very much, Shocks. Getting into game now, looking at these drafts, of course. You heard it, T1, more conventional. Feels like the safer draft overall. Maybe stronger overall as well. But see what JDG can do in this
I
matchup.
mean, Renata Kalista has been pretty dang good at this tournament, and having the ability to
TFT だ
have
と
such
カリア強いんですか
a ranging counter initiation tool here, not only the Renata, but also the Azir. There's so much flexibility on the T1 side. definitely does seem like they got a good setup. But the Taliyah here, we'll see how much work
いやこれ T1 の方が強そうに見えますけれども、どうでしょう。結果はこの試合が終わってみないとわからない。T1 対 JDG の3試合目です。
And you can look to connect your League of Legends account with Prime Gaming to grab the exclusive Braum W emote. You might have some time here because T1 seem uninterested in contesting this 5-man level 1. Instead, they will play some counter vision on the top side of the map.
I mean, I always love this, going for the level 1 invades, the priority here. First 2 games,
いや序盤のパワーを生かしてインベードしていきますか。
Really, really big openings for them, even though they ended up losing game number 2. But this one, JDG take matters into their own hands.
縦ワニ。
They do have vision.
Kill it, okay.
And of course, it's really tough to fight level 1, especially against Halo Blades Varish.
チャンネルポイント無限にかけていく。
Incredibly powerful level 1 overall. Yes, Kalista is strong, but the raw burst damage is big. Of course, Owner has been spotted out. Faker now on the way
ここに
in.
かければ。
Call has been made. Potential 5v5 in the brush. Owner being chunked down here. The top laners will lane, but everyone else here.
I don't think you can do this really as T1 unless there's massive damage sustained from the red buff.
ちょっと2分間でかけてます。かけの時間。
I don't know. They're just kind of watching here.
T1 here to spectate how JDG take a red buff. They do it well. T1 learn and are forced to walk away. A bit of a disaster all things considered because now Owner is even able to grab level 2 here. No.
結構
Kanavi takes away a bunch
向
of
こう
the
に
small ones
食べ
here.
物食べられましたよ。
Not only the Ashe Varus, but also the Taliyah over Azir in the level 1, big priority there, and it means that JDG accomplished their goal. They can split the map for this bottom lane that is
リーシュ2人でするより4人にしてもらった方が早いからな。カリスタいじめられてます。
And it's very concerning if you're a T1 fan right now because there is no cleanse
お
in this
ポイン
bottom
トを
lane.
買い取っ
Yes,
て
you
くれ
have
る。
the bailout, but when level 6 goes around with the Ashe with the Varus, the
ポイントを
setup
返
is
還して
so
くれるお店
easy
がありますか。
on the bottom side. Gumayushi has to be very careful.
Level 2
これダイブ？
Wukong tower dive.
ダイブできるんですかこれ。
But they've got a big
本
wave.
当に？
T1 are still level 1. Can Guma and Keria try and snipe some minions to get level
本当に
2?
これ？
Trying as quickly as they can to lock down some of these to level 2 now going in. Kanavi, good damage down onto Guma.
やりきりましたダイブ。
But he will stay standing, missing. Gets taken down.
エラータにダブルキー。
At the same time though, Guma, the one that you want the kills, you want the minions on, it's sitting on 1 CS.
バース。
JDG trip over their own feet
バース
here, though,
だけ
in
ど
the
カリスタの
bottom
CS
lane.
でちょっと
They try and dive it.
カリス
The
タ
level 2
CS1。
advantages, but Keria comes up huge on the
レナータ
Renata.
がすごい育ちました。
That is the corporate takeover right there, man.
連戦はちょっと苦しいか
Not
これ。
allowing anybody to get through. Out of all the 4 champions in the bottom lane, if
まあ
you
でも
told
ウ
me
ーコ
Renata
ン
got
相
the
当
double
時間使った
kills,
ぞ
less likely
これ。
want people to believe you. But that said,
ボットレーンサムナースペル全部なくなった相手。
There's going to be a bunch of
カリスタは
extra
フラッシュ
experience.
残っ
We're
てる。
actually going to see a support higher level than AD carry this game because of the kills, because of the big minion wave that was stacked up there. That's another thing when you're going for these early tower dives. A big part of why you do it is trying to deny those large minion waves, and Kanavi's back again. All
Yeah,
right.
because this wave state is so doomed for T1. They need to
こ
try
れ
and
またウーコ
fix
ン
it,
来るんです
but
か
they don't know where Kanavi is.
CS 触りに行けないんですけ
And
ど
I love this because there's nothing for him to gain.
Red
on the top of the
Sun,
map. You know
Cascaden.
Owner is going to invade that side, but unless Owner makes his way
Keria, no
down,
flash.
これレル呼ぶしかない。
no flash.
今
This
頑張って
Giants
呼んで
belt
ま
is
す
good, but
レ
he's
ルを。
slowly getting chipped away. Kanavi in the area, just shadowing in case the gank does come through. Happy with this lane state for JDG.
and I think the thing here is I don't know. They don't know
ウ
where
ーコン
Owner
がい
is.
たのは分かり
And
ま
if
し
you
たね
get
これで。
caught up in a
向こうの場
3v3,
所は
can go
分
either
かり
way,
ま
and
した。
bailouts in those situations can be really big.
Now, though, after they've been able to push it out, they should be fine here. Retreat back to your Krug skill. The red side jungle camps have respawned. And here's another look at how they started it out onto Gumayushi. And they do get him, but Keria had immediately gone over for Ruler there. Missing
アッ
flashes
シュ
after
フ
the
ラッシュが
second,
一瞬遅かっ
or
た
the
か。
extra tower auto was already in the air, so he dies even after flashing, and Keria is able to take down the kill on Varus as well, regardless of cleanse.
Yep.
お相手さん残念
Handshake
な
was a
顔
bit
し
too
ており
firm
ます
there for JDG. We're not a fan of that one.
He's got a firm grip.
Man's got some strong
まあ生き残
form.
れそうな未来があったんですかね。クレンズ
Man, look at
失いました
CS
バルス。
43. for Ruler.
でもボットレーンの CS 差が
Guma trying to scrape together
とんでもないですよ
those
これは。
Carry, of course, got a bunch of the experience from all those minions that was there, but denying them to the Callista, to that snowballing AD carry, definitely huge.
It's also Kanavi who picks up the kill, and particularly on his Wukong, this man has been able to carry so many team
めちゃく
fights.
ちゃ焼けてます。
Him getting an
で
early
ウーコン
lead
か
is
なり
going
時
to
間
be
使ったけ
really
ど
big.
レイと
So
そんなに
even though
CS
Carrier was
変わ
able
っ
to
て
get
ないで
kills,
す
I
ね
think he's still very happy with their play as JDG. Just means that Carrier should be getting to
メルが敵
what
ジ
I
ャン
assume
プル
will be
借り
a
に行く
raging
のに
virtue
結構大
very
回りして
early
いっ
on.
たから
We'll see if he's able to utilize that in some of these mid-game fights that surely are
そんな
going
に
to
差がつい
erupt
てない。
around the possible dragons. Although this first one, with the tempo as it is, wouldn't be surprised if Owner is able to pick this on. They have mid lane prio, bot lane prio as well.
レルは頑張ってドラゴン叩いてます。
Contest on this one. JDG will know what's happening, but they're not going to burn any resources. Instead, content to
ミッ
give
ドモッ
up.
トにドラゴン手伝ってもらってこれは取れるでしょう。
See what the soul
ウ
is
ー
going
コ
to
は
be this
この
time
まま
around.
上田のジャングルに入ってくるでしょう。
However, and right now, in terms of gold, JDG are sitting pretty. T1, obviously, the big boon they got on the bottom side. Lackluster in the grand scheme of things, even if it did look good to see Carrier get the double.
Gotta say, though, last time, Kanavi getting some early kills worked out pretty well for JDG. And he is on his signature Wukong. Him and Levi are the two junglers worldwide that did not give up on this champion, even after the jungle nerfs to Wukong came in. And at World so far, 7-1, the record for Wukong.
Yeah. And I mean,
いやこ
especially
れ
if
ボ
you're
ッ
going to
ト
get
レ
that
ーン
Divine Sunder or Spike sooner, we talked about what
ボ
Vi
ットレーン
can do
助
with
けが
it.
必要だと思い
do
ま
like
すよ。
10 times more, and that is very concerning for the side of T1. They need to be clean in their
どう
execution
にか
and
ならないか。
careful around the potential level 6 plays from this JDG lineup. The Wukong, the Talia, their ability to move around and set up these walls could be incredibly disruptive for anything T1 try to do.
There's also, which we haven't really discussed yet, and I don't think it's as strong as it once was, but Renekton and Talia is such a lethal combination when you get to mid-game fights. And we do see that 369 in
おアジーローレアナのマッ
isolation has
チア
been
ップ
doing
で
a really
ヘ
good
ル
job
ブレード
of
持ちで
using the
勝ったことある
early
の
power
フェイター
of
だけ。
Renekton to keep Zeus on the back foot. And
あのヘイルブレードアジールすごい強そうに見えるんですけど、そんなにやる人いないですね。みんな征服者持ってます。
Game number 1, and right now it doesn't look like T1 have found
連
any
戦
early
だけ
angles in this
だったら
game
すごい強そうだった
outside
けど、
of the dragon specifically.
Have to see what it
あま
looks
り
like
みん
to
な
get
プレイ
closer
し
and
ま
closer
せ
to
んね。
fights. Herald spawning in 5
プレイしない
seconds
とい
here.
うことは征
For now,
服者の方
topside
が
pressure in favor of JDG. See if they try to
試合に
level
勝
it.
てるという
Navi's
ことなんで
currently
しょう
clearing
か。
out the wolves. 369 going all in with the dominance here. It looks like just trying to get some pressure. Threat of the all in not
お
quite there yet.
ミニオンがちょっと多い。お相手にのみフラッシュを使わせていく。
Yeah, really good movement there from Zeus, using his ultimate with the burst of speed and the extra space
ワニ
there.
さんのフラッ
Goes
シュ。
back in, forces
なん
the
かハ
flash
ド
so
の
low.
他のルーンが
I
微
mean,
妙なん
Zeus
ですよね。
has
確かに
had
他
some
の
good
微妙か
advantages so
波
far.
動。
Let's see, though. JDG will take the opportunity
一番下の
here
列はキルアシストを集めないと発
as
動
we
しない
call
しな。
up Carrier, the real powerhouse of the bottom lane.
A level 6 carrier, courtesy of the early play, has the XP advantage, missing, trailing behind, but isn't going to do a lot. Ruler, however, looking for the all into the 1v1. Gumiuchi, nice flash to get away from the piercing arrow.
確かにレナーダダブルキルで
CK
経験値持ってる。
catching out Baker, Kanavi getting one.
まずいです。ウーコンが強いですこれ。
Coming through just in time to keep the fight going, but Zeus is not down yet. Zeus looking to fire back. JDG could be in trouble, missing, not firing forward. He's got level 6.
よし、ウーコン倒した。
Arrow does drop in the end. Knight still standing. The flick back is
お
clean. Living, missing.
いやアッシュサポートに治療回収されていく。カリアもギリギリでフラッシュ。使いました。アッシュノーフラッシュですよ。
Will not connect. It's an absolute mess of a fight on the top side.
But in the end, it is T1 that pick
ボ
up
ッ
the
トレーンでは
herald.
バルスのウッドからカリスタが削られそうになりましたけど、フラッシュで逃げてましたね。
Kanavi, 369, Knight missing. And Zeus as well, Faker as well. All these cooldowns will be down for the
ヘ
upcoming
ラルド
fight.
取ったのは T1。
It was so messy. And Carrier was holding his belt
ヘラルド
for
回
so
収成
long.
功ですよ。
The ultimate and the handshake at the very end, not to even connect there. He did pick up the
これ
kill
トレ
and he picked up the eyeball herald though, and he's got a bounty on his head now.
サポー
300
トにチル
gold on
集
the
まっちゃって
back
る
of
な。
that support player.
This is lore accurate Granada that we're seeing here for Carrier, bringing in all the gold for himself. And if we
アンラッキーです
look at this fight, it starts off with Faker already getting blown up by that Talia and Renekton combo.
And then you see the
警告
focus
行きます
here
か。
on the 369
これだった。
from T1 side. They do get him as they're trying to chase them off here, Keria still holding his ultimate. They feel like they've got Kanavi dead to right. They pop the Herald here. Owner's able to grab that one before he goes down. And then Keria can actually go pick up the eyeball even with the red buff missing in his face. Ooh, Knight actually barely surviving and his flash gone as well.
And it's actually the smite on the Herald that gives Owner the level up, which allows him to then Magnet Storm and stay alive for a little bit longer. Otherwise, that could have gone way worse. But it is still JDG that pick up the lead right now. Sayas doesn't have flash available. Gonna be looking for a dive here. No reinforcement for T1.
Ulti up and available for the Wukong. Waiting, buying his time. Extra healing coming in, but Sayas didn't get a chance to use it, holding on for now. But immediately 369 finding the kill. JDG a successful dive on top.
All right, what is going to be the answer on the bottom side of the map? They send Rel down there, but look, JDG have already pulled their bottom lane all the way back from the tower. They had the controller in there in the jungle to see them come for the invade as well. As Dragon is spawning, JDG are getting turret plates on top side.
There's also Knight already rotated over, knowing that a dive could be in the works. Can't actually do it, so T1 will get a Drake, but they're paying so heavily for it.
And JDG do have an Ash Arrow angle. Having his ultimate available for the Wukong, so they'll give up the objective in exchange for the huge bounty of gold on top side. So many turrets.
でもどうすればいいんですかこれ。敵のジャングルだけ来てるんですけどトップに。
He's not going to be able to move between every lane in the same way that Owner would, but might shift his attention to the top side of the map as he starts to wander up there now. Owner coming in tow right behind him. Might try to break the top lane matchup open. Sayas, some incredibly dominant performances on the quarterfinals, continuing to go for the low value route. His bread and butter, see what he can get done.
It's also, again, Kanavi having such a big impact and utilizing these early kills extremely well. This is a level 10 Renekton. Doesn't have Dominus, but does have Gore Drinker available. And Kanavi's on his way.
I really feel like Wukong has been the most underrated pick.
いや、レレクトのパワーを生かしてますわ。
Kanavi's going to try and answer.
TP now coming in, 369 staying alive.
やりきれるかこれ。
No dominance, Gore Drinker healing.
やりきれるか。ナイス。
Goes in just in time. Hostile takeover will not connect on the real.
メルがタンクした。メルがタンクしたけどエテロックス死亡。
Shattering strike. Bit more damage going through, but at the end of the day, it's fizzled. They get the kill on the top side, 1-for-1.
熊石が苦しんでます。誰か助けてくれ、ボットも。
Herald now dropped, trying to give gold to Faker.
And they do spot Kanavi there. Faker should be able to, at the very least, benefit from some of the gold that is going to come through here. But it's still JDG who are able to get this bot side lead and make it even bigger. Look at the gold lead here. We're looking at almost 1K advantage for Ruler.
Well-executed defense on the top side for JDG. A character down, and they still get the 1-for-1 trade, plus allow for the extra run here.
ちょっといじめるのひどいですよ。
JDG were the only team in the top 4 with an average gold
いや、どっとそんなことになっちゃったらどうやって取り返すんだ。これアッシュのウルトが悪さしたのかもしかして。アッシュのウルトがエテロックスに。
might be able to survive, and then T1 can take a big win, then use their threat and try and play for a Herald play afterwards, but instead they're not able to take down Kanavi. They don't get the bailout resets, and it's JDG that gets out ahead.
A really good Kanavi clone there.
Kanavi now going in the arrow just around the corner. The bar assault's going to be there as well. Keep your eyes on Guma. Trying to break the play out. Guma keeping his support alive. Does not want to give over the 3-0 shutdown to the side of JDG, but JDG will focus down that objective.
Yep, the damage is enough for them to take down the tower. Kanavi invested his ult, he invested his flash to escape, not give over the extra kill. Their counter jungling is also successful.
Yeah, 優勝候補と言われる JDG.
And after how game number 2 went, it's
強いですよ。
hard to imagine how T1 can stand up to this team fighting power.
1試合目 T1 が圧勝だったけど。
But particularly with a composition where you have the Kalista, that is, as we see her in the lane economy snapshot,
ちょっとそれが帳消しになるぐらいパワーを発揮してます。
so hard to play out these mid to late game fights, and the only goal
T1 はちょっと対策できていないか。
you know, he's going to feel great about, but T1 as a whole not so much.
この3試合ずっと苦しんでる。
This game kind of slipping away
2試合か。2試合ずっと苦しんでる。
Crucial that T1 have been able to grab the first 2 Drakes. They have not gotten nothing in the early game. getting a third, moving up to Soul Point on a Cloud Soul. Feel pretty good. But I don't think JDG are going to give them an angle. They're so far ahead now.
さあ苦しんでるけどドラゴンとヘラルド取れてます
Yeah, I was going to say, not in a great position to contest this Herald. And that's why I didn't say concede nothing.
ドラゴン2つヘラルド2つ
We'll have to give that one up. See if the same is true of the Drake, Mr. Laffy.
ちょっとトップとボットがかなり敗北しているということを除けば
I want to see about the monkey on the top side here, because Kanabi's going for a lane gank. Was he just covering a possible play here? Because they did get Rift Herald alert. So they know, and kind of just allowing for the possible play here to counter.
オージットのバルスはそんなに出てこないか
snipes the scuttle away from Owner, not able to pick that one up. That actually is going to be really big because in 40 seconds, T1 have a basically must-win fight where they set themselves up for Soul Point. It allows you to play towards the top half of the map with much more freedom, allows you to give up maybe a dragon so that Zeus can get an inner and get back in a position where he can actually threaten the backline of JDG. We'll see if T1 is able to get the fighter, because if you look at the cooldowns that are available on JDG, it becomes really, really hard to consistently lock someone down, even with the power that Rel has.
I want to see
Yeah,
since
Dragon
T1
Ball
have been able to
来ます
get early access into the river here. Renata can shine.
ドラゴンのセットアップ素晴らしいですよこのスピー
Either
ド
one of these entrances into the river, and JDG right now are funneling on through. They're going to be forced into one of these kind of confined
これ
areas.
大大悟やったら
Ruler zoned away
大
from the
大悟に
choke
なっ
point
ちゃ
here
うと
as a division.
T1
Spot out the T1 lineup. T1 now trying to take control of the
ゴール
mid
ド差
lane.
で苦しそうだけど
JDG have pushed in through the bottom lane. Zeus clearing that wave out, but the poke from Ruler are going to start to hurt if they take too long. Need to pick their moment
いやバルス
aggressively.
のポークアッシュのポークが効いてます
JDG now again moving in, fighting slowly, diligently. Eyes on carry, eyes on the hostile takeover to maybe be the difference maker in this fight. Zeus on the
T1 ミ
flank,
ッドに
Faker
ヘラ
over
ルド
the
召
wall.
喚
Objective getting lower and lower.
サリアがウルトで敵を妨害していくこれ命かけてスティールしに行くのかオーナーフラッシュからのフェイカーがウルド決めていくマジかこれマジですかこれしかもドラゴン取ってますえマジT1 最強ここまで計算通りですか
Owner, Zeus, and Gumayushi. They came up, all of them, through the T1 system. Rookies in Academy, all the way to the main roster. And look at this, all the way to the world stage, over the Ash Arrow. Him and Faker get the double
レナータのウルト全員に刺さりましたよ
Those JDG members off the map.
And we see the value of the Renata come through yet again. There is no counter punch for JDG.
あいやーミクロで全部解決していく
Can't assist Kanavi as he tries to get on the back line. And now, gold.
いやーゴールド負けてる時って集団戦うまくやればまだ勝てるみたいな考え方になりますけど完璧にやりましたようまくやれば勝てるを実践しておりますこのチーム
From both sides.
うまくやったから勝った
Pulling out some miraculous moves, some clean movement from
大
Ruler.
野さん最強のジャングラーです
Oh man, that engage over the top. Faker and
ゴー
Owner
ルド差
from
600
different
時
angles.
And I think
3ドラゴン取れてますよ
after kind of a lackluster game too, in a game where Kanavi is pulling further and further ahead. Individually though, he's still quite weak.
警戒できております
He'll get no dice. He'll be forced to walk out of this
警
one.
戒
Good
丸
patience from Owner.
なんでそれ
The
経過
juke,
で
the
きるダバ
juke,
リュ
the sense they
警
know
戒
the
してるの
danger
は
is there. He jukes him back.
On
Can they
SCP.
Lock up there. Carry taking a big chunk of damage.
バルスのウルトがレナータにハラスしていくそして赤バフも
T1 regaining their composure after a
赤
pretty
バフどっ
difficult
ちが
early
取ったん
game.
だ
Knight will take a tower on the
ちょっとわ
top
から
side
な
of the
い
map. JDG holding on to a
ミ
gold
ニオン
lead,
組ん
but
だトッ
T1
プの
feeling
タ
a
ワー
lot
破
more
壊しま
confident
した
coming into the next dragon fight. 2.5 minutes away. Baron spawning in 4 seconds. Both sides take it pretty quick. Although the lethality Varus actually puts a pretty big damper on any hopes JDG has for bursting it down.
And
あ
Zeus.
Zeus going in on a ruler.
Oh.
Ruler caught shopping.
遠くこれ年ファイヤー 死亡。あ、ウーコンもギリギリ生き残る。カリスタがウルトでレナート回収していく。でかすぎるこれは。マジか。
T1 trying to start up the Baron. We'll see if they can take it. Kanavi, he's healing up, trying his best.
大野さんが赤バフ取れてましたか。
Yeah, vision.
T1 focused on the objective. They have the Ren smite
ウーコン
combo.
体力はない。
They should give this up, but Kanavi might just be able to
スマイトバトル。
down the push over the wall. Doesn't connect, but it does not
よ
matter.
し。
T1 gets the objective. Kanavi into
ウ
the
ーコン
pit.
死亡。
Taken down. 369 forced to run for the hills, and T1 have turned the game on its head. 369 running for his life, but Zeus is here.
この試合上の
Trying to double dash through one. Not able to get the
この試合勝つんですかまさか。
cutting down.
ワニさんのフラッシュ。
He can get more in the fight. Ruler not running down Zeus.
ルーラーが強いですよちょっと。
Ruler trying to make up for the previous mistake.
ルーラーさん強いです。
Fight owner overstaying, over commitment.
あ、
Baker
あの
by the arrow. The fight doesn't stop. T1
せ
hold on to the
ー、バロンバフ
Baron,
2個残った。
but JDG fire back.
And it is 369. The crocodile stays alive throughout so much there. It's a negative Red Bull Baron power play. And more importantly,
ワニさん
Knight
倒せそうだったんですけど
inhibit
ギリギリ
T1
倒せなかった
to
です
actually
ね。
set up for the soul, whereas normally that should happen
少々やりすぎたか。
Look at Knight, the amount of damage he does, the double knockback,
バロン
and
獲
then
得。
they
そ
win
し
the
てウーコンも倒してい
But they
く。
go too far.
Yeah, look
レ
at
レクト
Yuma and Carry
しぶとかったな。
so low here, trailing on the backside.
そんなに
While the
倒すの
rest of
に
the
時間
T1
かかるとは。
members trying to play off pressure, trying to chase down the crocodile. Knight and missing
それ
come
やれないの
in.
か。
Carrier gets deleted from the outside, and then Ruler here peeling for 369, keeping him safe. 369. Baiting
いやー、
him
レレクトン
in.
倒しき
Two
れ
healing
ず。
on the outside, then the
ア
stun
ジ
on
ェル
the
もフラッシュ
Faker
使わされました。
almost was enough to chain into the seismic shove, but not quite enough. They just get his flash.
And there was a big
Whoa.
miscommunication because Faker was backing while the rest of the team was like, oh, it's fine. We got 369, and they most certainly did not. But T1 still have the Baron buff available and should be able to set up for the soul point.
Flash available on Knight. Potential for play
クラウド
making
ソウ
is
ルかかってますよ。
big. Kanavi caught out. Zeus trying to run him down. T1 taking control of the area. Eyes on the soul. Their number one prize.
ウー
But
コンの
both
場所は
carries
見え
are
てます
flashless on the side of T1. They have to play flawlessly. If they miss position even once, it could cost them.
ドラゴンの視界高いです JDG。
The Ash can find
今
an
見え
angle
ま
and
した。
all fall apart. Zeus got out a bit here. Forced to retreat. Dragon objective getting lower. Weaver's wall bringing Knight into the fight.
彼らの壁で T1 を分断していく。アシのウルトアジールが反応して避けます。なんだこの反応スピード。ウーコンは取りましたね、ドラゴンは。ちょっと陣形が。
JDG pulling back slowly, surely. They have no jungler, but they have the objective. T1 desperate to get more. They know they need to get something here. Pushing in. 369 over the wall.
彼らの防空が強いですよ、こういう戦い方は。あ、足死にました。さらばです。よし。さすがに許されなかったか、これは。
And are they able to
トップチャンピオンはあまりにも無力。
But additionally, and the most important part, the Baron buff is now gone. T1 actually weren't able because of the topside play.
ウーコンがクラウドソウル防ぎました。スマイトバトル、ウーコンの勝利。
Keep your eyes on Kanavi. He sacrifices his life to go in here and steal the dragon and deny the soul. They're trying to focus on Owner. 369 goes for him. They stun him. They seismic shove him. They keep him out. He smites early. Down to the 300-something HP there, and then Kanavi's able to get it, but Kanavi just pops in the
ア
middle
ッ
of
シュが
T1.
非常に嫌な場所からダーク領域
And then
打
they
ち
kind
続
of
け
get
て
kited
ます。
here and chase down, and you know, in the end, T1, they all turn their sights towards missing on the back. Kind of respect it from JDG though. They're trying to
アッシュが
kite
調
them
子に乗
out,
りま
push
し
them
たな。
down, even with
で
four
す
members
で
here.
す。
But the
あ、
Kalista ultimate means
カリスタのウ
they're
ルト
going
か。
to get the full engage
ちょっ
onto
とし
that
ょうがないな。
Ash. Missing has no mobility.
And
しょう
what
がない
is
です。
really big is that Missing actually ends up flashing there because at that point, I think JDG had already won the play. Missing trying to get more ends up backfiring because Ash in particular, when Faker has his flash available, is a sitting duck for an Azir shuffle.
Absolutely is.
Oh,
Missing maybe now
TP
caught
star.
out again, just as you call it, Chronicler.
まずアッ
But
シュを
Kanavi in the
倒しに
meantime
行くのかな
just trying to isolate Zeus.
ノーフラッシュ
He
で
needs to
す
be careful though because the rest of T1 is now coming in. Missing running for the hills, but he surely will go down.
And
Baker
Ash is
grabbing the
slow.
kill. 369 being forced out of the pit. Locked up.
レネクトもフラッシュないけど追いつけないですか
Out to safety. T1 finding the kill on a missing, but not a lot else. Priority in their favor. They're going to get mid first. They're going to get push. 1 minute and 30 to the Baron.
And the main goal here is going to be to try and get control of the Baron, force JDG to face check. And JDG not having control, a lot of their poke from the Talia, from the lethality Varus, isn't going to be nearly as easy to hit. And it takes away a large part of power for this JDG composition.
And we know how many times these games come down to item spikes and they come down to summoner spells. Kanavi not having his flash in that next fight could be massive. Missing his heal, probably not as big of a deal, but that Wukong not being able to immediately
い
find
や
backline
序盤負け
access
てはいたけ
could
ど
cost them
時間が
dearly,
経てば
especially as
序
each
盤の
and
振りも
every
だんだん
member
と
of T1 has their flash up and available.
小さくなってきますよ
So much tension here in this game to see if they can break it open. JDG dispersed into the 1-3-1 here. Ruler in your ruler position, trying to hold that wave. Should be calm as T1 get a little bit deeper vision.
And it feels like such an important breakpoint because this is the first game that hasn't been very much in favor of one of the teams. Winning this gets you one game away from making it to the World's Finals. This is the most close game we've had so far. T1 do have Dragon advantage, but JDG have an incredible team fight come themselves as well.
And if you look at some of the star players here, Ruler got a lot of the early money. This Varus is on 3 items with transformed Muramana. This Varus poke is unreal right now. 3-item power spike with the Lucidity boots as well. So much cooldown reduction, so much poke damage available here. He's the one who tries to take over mid lane Crush. They're even going to use Knight's ultimate to try
彼
and
のウルトで
get some extra damage on tower here. It looks like they
カリ
don't
ッサ
want
の
to
ファ
step
ンも
up
妨
to it.
害していく
Be careful. Maybe not expecting 4 members of T1 to be there. Zeus walking up to the mid lane as well. The poke from Ruler can be devastating. T1 can't spend too long trading blows in the mid lane against this Varus. Or too long setting up and taking objectives. Topside control, topside vision control in favor of T1. A bit of vision in the pit means JDG don't have to be too scared, but they might be fishing for the angle.
危ない
Arrow going on to the jungler. Flick back is
いや
there.
ベルだからどう
Looking
に
to
か
burst owner.
いや耐えられません
Takes it
CC チェ
out
ン
of
で
the equation. The pullback is there for Guma. He will keep carry alive. Fate's call. But it's the fate of T1 to
まずい
lose
で
this
す
Baron. Zeus playing on the edge here.
Punch
Step forward.
Punch
Dark and Blade. Q2
Punch
coming out.
パン
Just
チ
a
と
bit of poke though. JDG looking to take control of the area, but they don't
ジャングラーいないですよ
have all the vision that they need to walk in
Oh, Zeus is on the
fearlessly.
watch. They can take him down.
Zeus spotted 369.
まずい
early ultimate
エイトロッ
to
ク
get
ス
the
だ
area. Knight going over the wall. The
捕まって
flip
しまう
back flashed away, but Zeus is certainly dead. The rest of
逃げ
the
ろ
team are now
ゼウス
trying to move into the jungle. The
サ
competition
イ
is
チェック
throwing them off as best he can. Zeus, the blast cone, not enough.
Ah!
Back into the midst of the team, and he will get taken down. Ruler now on a rampage.
And that
これ
might be
バ
the
ロン
angle
気分
they're
でド
looking
ラゴン
for.
なのか
Are they going to try and trade Baron for Dragon Soul?
バロンの妨害に行くの
They've
か
got
Looks
They're
like
gonna try
it.
and rend it.
一部してドラゴンソウルですか
They're going to try and get Cloud Soul in exchange for the Baron buff.
クラウド
The
ソウル
immediate win gonna be there for JDG. We know how deadly this team is when they get their hands
ブーム
on a Baron. T1 starts off with missing, finding the arrow onto owner.
まあどうに
Ends
か
up going
ドラ
down.
ゴンソウルは
And
取りました
it's from there. The vision control pivotal there because if Zeus goes unmatched and JDG start that up, it might have been another play entirely. The JDG able to pull out at least on the short term.
JDG have had some of the most devastating Baron power plays of any team at the tournament. Let's see what they
で
can
も
get
これ
done
バロン
with it
バフ
because they did pay a decent
カリスタ
price
ハリ
here
ケーンはないん
in
だ
the
よ
form
な
of a permanent Dragon Soul to the
ミニ
side
オンの
of
処理が
T1.
結構大変ですよ
Careful, have to respect that soul. But for the next 2 minutes and 20 seconds, it is JDG who are favored. Not quite enough members in the mid lane to bully this tower down.
守れま
But the
せん
tower cannon minions will be more than enough. And again, eyes on Ruler. Guma
おお
first to
ナイスフラッ
flash.
シュ
Clean arrows from missing this game.
ナイスフラッシュだけどアッシュのウルトとフラッシュの
Flick
交
back,
換
now not gonna connect. Owner able to walk this one
痛
out.
す
It's
ぎる
tier 2 tower in the sights of JDG. They should be able to get
30 秒
this
で
easily.
ウルト帰ってくるのに
369 on the bottom side. T1 just need to weather the storm.
クールダウン5分のフラッシュが
And the heal is good in
失われ
lane,
ま
but
して
once you get out, it is very tough not to have the cleanse.
Zeus on the flank.
Zeus on the side. TP coming in.
バジルいったフラッシュでルーラー捕まえたフェイカーマジか
Combos are clean.
レナタのウルト全員に入れていくフェイカー完全にフリーギール
T1 looking to leave no
マジ
spark alive. 369 defends the entire team.
マジか
In the clutch. R2.
マジですか
Baker
He catches him with the ultimate. It is a clean ace.
この試合勝つってマジいやフェイカーうますぎる
And it's Faker that sets it up. Owner that knocks it down.
バルスのフラッシュ見てからフラッシュ R 余裕でした
It wasn't even about the Cloud Soul. It was a single moment from T1 that gave them this game, that set them up for a match point. Missing. He won't be enough. T1 gonna break the base. T1 gonna move on to match point. A clean fight out of
これ
nowhere. Secures them their
世
second
界
game.
一ですこのミッドレーナー
These
わあ
players
これ
on
閣下の
T1,
でかすぎ
they've accomplished so much. And yet, of course, everyone knows their main goal, an
やっぱフェイカーよ
international championship, has been the one thing that has eluded them.